Hey, for this week's episode of the Weekly Wash, had a bunch of things going on down here in Cornwall. Had a visit from the Code Foils guys, so Marcus, Ben and Josh. Cool to meet those guys. Thanks for everyone that came on down for a couple of really nice sessions and a community get together in the evening. Filmed some info on from those guys on their range. So that'll be a bulk of this week's newsletter. But had a bunch of other stuff going on. Launched information on our school. So we're now offering training down here in Cornwall for kite, wing, prone and tow, so sessions and training and rental. Get in touch if you want any help getting out in those sports. Mobile schools, so we move around all over the county, adapt to the conditions. It's always changing down here. There's always something to be done. So give us a shout if you want help getting out, making the most of those sorts of conditions. Weather forecast for the coming few days has got a nice small swell pushing in, which is picking up to a higher period swell over the weekend. Good prone conditions, possibly really good tow conditions down here, with the long range forecast showing some wind coming in. So kind of ticking all boxes at the moment. Give us a shout if you want to lock in a session. If you are traveling west, because there is some fun to be had over here this weekend. Long drives, check out the Generic Foiling podcast. Sure, if you foil, you already know of them. They've brought out a few new episodes, well worth having a listen to if you're doing the journey. Check out as well on Instagram, put a link in the description. Greg Dennis, he joined us for the Code trip. Filmed some pretty special footage of those guys, so check out his footage there. Hopefully we'll be seeing more of him down here filming some foiling. And our website as well, check out Poseidon-watersports.com. We've now got a sale rolling, some bargains to be had on there, so give us a shout. Here at Crantock, lucky enough to have Ben and Josh from Code in today. Been here for the last couple of days having a session. Thought it'd be a great opportunity for our weekly wash to get you guys to run through the range in your own words.
Yeah, so we've got, for the front foils, we've got two. We've got the S and the R. The R's more high aspect and the S is more of an all-round foil. Since being here for 2 days and doing like a bit of prone surfing, I would definitely recommend the S. And we're about to jump out here now, and I've got the 980S bolted on. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, definitely like a lot of the winging and proning, which is what we did yesterday. The S series is that's the foil for that sort of stuff. But yeah, I think the downwinding's starting to pick up some momentum here. So the R series is, it's obviously ideal for that. It's pretty special for downwind. But yeah, just if you're on a budget and you want to sort of have a foil that's going to do everything, then you'd look at the S. If you want to expand a bit and really push your downwinding, then the R is going to make your life pretty easy and less pumping, more gliding, but doesn't have as much turning and all-round feel as the S series.
Yeah, I think I started off on the S because, like what you said, it does a bit of everything. However, once you jump on an R and you feel the glide that it has, it's addictive, and you start you're progressing through your foiling and you want to stay on foil for more than 5 waves in a row. You want to start getting 10 minutes, 20 minutes. The R gets you there. And then once you start learning how to turn a high aspect foil like the R, it's really like your longboarding, the swells. And it's just a different type of foiling. And like what you get out of it, you can start using it as like a training tool where, like, say today, it's for us, it's cold. I want to just get one wave and pump around for 30 minutes. And you could definitely do that on like what Ben's got here, a 1075R.
Yeah.
Sizes more powerful per size, the R to the S?
Yeah, that's correct. So for example, what do we got? So the 980 in the S would probably be the 860R as far as just lift and power goes. You would probably say they're pretty parallel. It's a more efficient foil, so you get more out of the size. More glide, more lift, just more efficiency in total. And like Josh says, you can pump around a lot longer than the S, but as a sacrifice, it doesn't turn as good. But there are a lot of people that like the smaller R's for surfing, and it's like a cruisier feel. But yeah, it's a personal thing. But I mean, yeah, the S is such a good place to start if you're winging, proning, and you're starting to learn to downwind. Even the bigger S series, like the 1540. So it goes from 1540 at the upper end all the way down to 500. So the 1540 is, I would say, it's a better tool to learn to downwind than the big R, because it's lower aspect, so it's a more solid feel. And it doesn't have the span, so when you're paddling up, it's not going to, tell you where to go as much. You're a bit more in control and over the top of the foil. So you're learning to downwind, I'd say the S as well. So the R is something, you progress to as far as downwinding goes.
And your tails? So you've got
Yep.
got the same breakup basically.
Yeah, tail's basically in line with the front wing. So we've got the all-round tail, which is lower aspect and basically the same attributes as the S. So better for all-round, better for turning. The R series is better for glide, better for pumping. Exactly the same. So when we're downwinding, like if we're going somewhere to downwind and we're just racing, it's just all R really. And
I get people asking quite a lot, can I put an R tail on like an S front wing?
yeah, I
pairing
think Josh
works
has
fine.
done a bit of that.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. And I think the R tail with an S is an awesome compliment because you just start getting a lot more glide out of the S. It's nice to kind of switch them around because you do get different feels. Like because they are higher aspect and they are smaller, it goes from a 120R to a 151R. You will drop through it if you're not going fast enough, but if you keep your speed up, it will just want to keep gliding more than the AR tail.
Yeah, I was just saying, like with the smaller foil, I might swap this out for the small foil now because there's some waves, and I might just put the 151 on the R because it'll give me a lot of power and glide with the small front wing, and it just sort of makes the smaller front foil a bit more forgiving. So yeah, it's a good way to sort of mix up your kit. You can have a downwind tail and mix it with your front wing, and work it.
And you play your fuse length a lot? So you guys have got different size fuses, right?
Yeah, we got a large, medium, small, and extra small. So personally, 90% of the time I'm on medium until I go into the bigger foils, then I'll go small just to, like it's basically like a seesaw. If you shorten it up, it's a bit lighter on your legs. So if you have a big front wing, big tail, and a long fuse, it's going to be a lot on your legs. Unless you're a bigger, heavier guy or a beginner and you just want just ultimate stability. So yeah, for me, I alternate between the medium and small a lot. A lot of guys love the extra small for its turning. For me, I just find at my weight, it's just a little bit too small. So I feel like the fuse is a lot to do with body weight, but there are obviously people that don't agree with that rule. It's totally a personal feel. But yeah, I like medium, small, and bigger guys definitely like the large because it just gives them so much more to push on. Yeah.
You play it up a lot, or you play your front wings and your tails depending on the conditions, but fuse you're pretty locked into. That's what you like.
For me, yeah, 80% of my foils are testing sessions, so it's work, I guess. So for the last, while we've been testing the foil we showed before, I've just been on a medium and 150, so everything has to stay the same. So each time I test a different front wing, but yeah, if I'm just foiling for the fun of it, then I'll mix it up for sure. And you're always learning, even when you're making foils. Every time you change something,
Cool.
it's a different feel.
For me, like the rule of thumb is, I think Ben kind of touched on it, the bigger the front foil, kind of the smaller the fuse. And the smaller the front foil I go, the longer the fuse. It just helps to make the setup feel more stable, which is what a fuse does. Like the fuse is there to give you pitch stability. And some people love that really twitchy feeling of an extra small fuse and an extra small front wing. But for me, I like to have that pitch height, stability. Like I like it so you're not fighting it the whole time. You can kind of glide at that one speed, and if you want to dip down, you can. It's not just you're always up and down, up and down.
Fair.
So
Good advice.
yeah, and that also complements with tails, which is a whole nother can of worms we can get into. But
Yeah, I think like for the fuse and the tail, like if you say, oh, I'm going to get an extra small fuse and a small tail, it's going to be too big a jump because it's like doubling up on that pitchiness. So yeah, I would either say just get a smaller fuse with the same tail so you can feel the benefits of the smaller fuse instead of, like when you're playing around with your kit, I mean, obviously everything costs money. I'd just do one thing at a time and then you can expand from there for sure.
And masts? So 2 models in the range, bunch of different sizes?
Yeah, so basically 75, 80, 85, and we have the standard mast, which is a high modulus mast, and then we have the plus mast, which is obviously the ultra high modulus. Same profile, same mast, obviously just different layout. So
Higher price tag, stiffer.
yeah, that's right. If you want the very best you can get, you get the plus mast. If you want a super high quality, premium mast, you just get the standard. Our standard mast is like, I still use it at home. Like in the 75, it's still a very stiff mast.
Yes, so I noticed you guys are running standard, yeah? You could be on the plus right here, but you're not.
Yeah, I mean, we sort of just pack what we got laying around. But yeah, I can alternate between the plus and standard, no worries. I think bigger guys on longer masts, it's always, they're going to get the most out of their kit with a plus mast. Like if you're a 100 kilo guy and on an 85 standard, you'll get a bit of flex, no doubt. So if you can afford it and you're in that size range, you'll definitely feel more benefit than like sort of medium to smaller guys on shorter masts aren't going to get the benefit. I mean, obviously, once you use the plus at any size, it's hard to go back.
Yeah.
I said someone it's like flying business class going back to economy. So like for me,
That's a good one.
I've never actually experienced that, but one day if I ever get an upgrade, it'll be hard to go back. But yeah, it's no matter what your size, it's definitely noticeable. But for the bigger guys, heavy guys, they're gonna benefit more from the
And just quickly, like what people will notice, more drive back, yeah, like when they're pumping, more stability through the turn.
Yeah, so a stiffer mast is going to give you more control. And I think that's everything in foiling. Like if you have a bit of wobble, like you're going to be out of control. And like what Ben said, our standard mast is still probably one of the stiffer masts on the market. And we just wanted to give people the option of an even stiffer one. So yeah, depending on your price tag, if you can afford that little bit more, always the plus is going to be better. But the standard, like I'm riding it today, still fine.
Sick.
Yeah.
So before we jump out, and like you guys have been here a couple of days, seen our conditions, average person, prone, bit of wing, what would you recommend? Like go to first starting point in your range?
I think for me, like I'm 80 kilos and you can see the waves behind us. They're probably like waist high, 980S or an 850S if you weigh a little bit less or depending on your skill. But it's such an all-round setup. Like, you know, ride that with, I love a 75 mast, especially it looks like the tide's quite shallow here now. I'm not going to be rubbing my foil along the sand, but that with a 150 tail and a medium fuse, that's, for me, it looks like that's probably going to be the best setup for me.
Yeah, if I was going to use one foil the last few days, I'd probably just have the 850 medium and 150, like the original code setup.
Classic.
But yeah, like I said before, the bigger guys, there'll be guys that can surf the 1130, no worries. And I've done like contests at home where it's no waves and I like sup foil and I put the 1130 on and you can still sort of rip it around. It's pretty good. So the bigger guys on 1130 will really be able to push it around. And even like the 1300, 1540, we do like novelty downwind runs and you can surf though. The S surfs all the way to the 1540 for sure. And if I put on 20 kilos, I'm going to push on it harder. So it's very reliant on your body weight. But yeah, for Josh and me here, 980, 850 would be the go-to.
Sick.
Yeah.
Thanks, boys.
Thanks, Chris.
No
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks a lot. Tune in. Any questions? Give us a shout.